Hey everyone, welcome back to the Mitt podcast, episode number 165. And in this episode, I'm going to be breaking down how to expand our capacity to receive and how to take all of the abundance and incredible opportunities and things that we all want out of life and be able to not only receive them, but know how to handle them. It was a great saying that you'll never receive something until you're actually able and prepared to handle it. And if you get something before you're ready, it doesn't become a blessing, it becomes a burden. There's a lot to be said about this. And I started to study this topic spiritually over the last year and a half. And I really, truly think it's going to expand your thinking and kind of change the way you look at success and challenges and even some past experiences or problems or adversity that we all have faced in our lives. And so the first thing to think about is that every single thing that we want is in the world right now. Your investor that you need for your business, the future employees, your amazing network, that great person, whatever you are looking for out of life, it is existing right in this moment. And if we have a desire for it, that means that we have a purpose to go potentially get this thing. Now, what has to change? Let's think about this. Think about the last time in your life, and maybe it's right now, where you just went through a lot. Stress, pressure, it could have been in your finances, it could have been a relationship, it could have been leaving an industry or having, a bad experience working for someone. It could have been a family member passing away. But something that you went through that was so challenging that you did not even know if you were going to be able to get past it. Then suddenly, as time and the weeks and the months went, you slowly not only grew as a person, you developed, you started thinking differently, taking different action. And then maybe a year or 2 years later, you're at the top of your game. You not only got through that difficult or challenging season of life, but now you're performing on such a level that actually what you went through, if you faced it again, it wouldn't even be a problem, because you already became the person who knows how to handle it. So what's important about life and why these cycles happen where we go through a lot of adversity is because they are sent to break us down and build ourselves bigger, smarter, more intelligent, more experienced, so we can receive and handle more. It's the same way, the best example and metaphor for this is working out. Working out, when you work out and you lift weights, your muscles actually tear, they repair, and they grow back stronger. The same thing happens mentally, spiritually, physically, everything, when we face obstacles in our career, in our relationships, in our friends, in any area of our life. But we don't say, oh, the gym doesn't work because my muscles hurt after. Of course not. We know that when we go to the gym, we work out, we run, we lift weights, we're going to feel sore after. And we feel sore, we don't go, working out sucks, it doesn't work, it's a scam. Every time I do it, I feel rough, I feel bad for the next 3 days. No, our minds, logically, we go, I know I'm going to be sore, but this is going to make me healthier, stronger, better looking, more fit, and more prepared to win in life. So why don't we do that when we actually face challenges in our own lives? And the reason is because we're all humans. We're feeling emotion. We're thinking about why this deal didn't go through, why, let's say you're trying to figure out where to live or what industry you want to get in or something that happened to you. But when we're facing that, we're humans, so we're emotional. But in reality, that experience is actually some of the most beautiful times you could ever imagine, because they make you into the person that you're truly meant to be. I was given a speech in Utah recently, and I was telling everyone in the crowd, it was about 120, 125 or so sales reps. And I had everyone raise their hand. I said, if I had or started a company right now where every single person in this room would have the ability to make $10 million, raise your hand if you would quit whatever you're doing and you would come work with me right now. And every single room shot up immediately. And what I was doing is I was showing them that, look, I told them, I said, I don't have an opportunity for you guys to all make 10 million. If I do, I'll definitely reach out. But let's think about this. Y'all are all ready right now to go work with me. So the problem isn't the people that are motivated or talented enough to go sell deals and do great things and come work on a mission. My problem is I have to build another business with the capacity is so big that it attracts all of those people and all of those talent to come work with me. So what I told them is whatever they want exists, they just have to become a person that can naturally attract it. Now, you can do this in a lot of ways. And a limiting belief that many people have, and I did at one point in my life, is I thought the only way to get what you want is through struggle or through stress or through problems. And that is a way to get what you want, but you can also fast track this development process by leveraging people, by leveraging social media, by leveraging mentors, investors, partners, people who are further along than you that have already seen the path. You know, have you ever seen, I forget what they're, like a maze basically, where you start at the beginning, and if you're looking over top, you know that you got to take 3 lefts, 1 right, go straight, take a left and right, and you're out. But when you're in the maze and all you see is these big walls, you don't know where to go. So it would be pretty easy if you were in this maze and you get stuck for 30 minutes and then it's getting dark to start panicking, to start getting nervous. But if you went with your friend that has been doing it for 10 years and could do it almost blindfolded, and you just walked with them, you would not have to face that same problem. So what we have to do, and I'm going to put together a 3-step simple process on how we can do this. And the first thing is we have to get really clear about who we need to become in order to accomplish what we want out of life. I realize that we don't always know that we want to do this specific business, meet this specific type of person, or even live in this type of city. Heck, who knows what's going to happen in all of our lives in the next 5 to 10 years. But generally speaking, we do know who we likely need to become. Because if we become a certain level of skill sets, of experience, of being poised, of being well-spoken, mature, focused, emotionally focused and stable and intelligent, then because of that personality, our personal reality, our life will change with it. So the key is to get very, very clear on what is your superhero 10 out of 10 version of your future self that you want to become. The second is get very, very clear about the skill sets, the network, the talent, the way they carry themselves, the way they handle challenges, and get very, very detailed on these specific skill sets that version of you has that you don't have right now, right? And then 3, embody the characteristics, action, and lifestyle of that person. And don't wait 20 years. Start living life like that person now. Read what they read, watch what they watch. Surround yourself with people that they would surround themselves with. Live where they would live. You have a lot of friends, like for example, I live in Dallas, and it was a great upgrade for me. I have friends that are moving to places like New York and all these different things. And I asked them, what about the taxes? They go, Grant, who cares about the taxes? I want to go make 4 or 5 times more network. And if I can win here, I can win anywhere. And I'm like, that's why you're a badass entrepreneur. They know that their future aligns with being in a city like that. I'm not saying you all have to move to New York. I'm not moving to New York. But it's that they know who they want to become. So they're putting themselves in an environment that forces them to develop and become a person that's capable of achieving what they want to achieve. Okay? So just always think about this, is if you put 100 investors in a room, do they want to invest more money or less? They want to invest more. What's the problem? They need the deal. They need an entrepreneur that can have it. There's this famous text thread that came out in some lawsuit of Elon Musk and the founder of Oracle, Larry Ellison. And this is how quickly he got $2 billion. He texted Larry Ellison. He goes, hey, you want in on this XAI deal? And he goes, it looks super interesting. He goes, how much would you like to put in? He's like, $1 billion or whatever you recommend. He goes, I would recommend 2. I think it's going to be extremely lucrative. And he goes, it looks like a lot of fun. Just let me know. That's how fast he got $2 billion. Was the problem the money? No. Was the problem the amount of people that have the capabilities to invest that much money? No. The problem is we have to become, if that's what you want, a person of credibility and knowledge and skill set to be able to receive something like that. So if you want to be an incredible wife, become one today. If you want to become a person that has so many great friends, become a great friend, a great listener, be supportive, be a great friend today. And then what happens is the world starts reacting to who we've become. A fast way to know that you're on the right path is when you're in environments that are new, or you're alone and you're around people and things that you're usually not around. Do people treat you how you're usually treated on a normal weekly basis? But if you're really leveling up and your vessel is expanding, your capacity to receive is growing, and good things are around the corner, you will notice that strangers will treat you as if you're already your future self. Because if you become that person, you're that person not because you have this car or this business. It's because you have the soul, the spirit, the skills, the talents of that person. See what I mean? If Tom Brady, for example, he could probably still come back and play. Even, for example, he was at the New England Patriots, won all those Super Bowls, and was over 40 years old. And he went to Tampa Bay, which hasn't won a Super Bowl since, I believe, like 2000. So it's been 20-something years. He came back. What happened? Players from all around the NFL were taking pay cuts to go to Tampa Bay. The coaches locked in. They changed up their entire organization. And within a couple years, what happened? He became a Super Bowl champion at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Was the problem the team? No. It was he is a Super Bowl winning quarterback, one of the best ever. So he has a vessel big enough to go out and attract top talent, to bring the fans to the game, to have the playbook and the preparation and the mindset. So even though he left an organization where he won, 5 Super Bowls or whatever it was, maybe 6 Super Bowls, and he went to a different team, even though it was different, he still won. Why? Because he was that person. It wasn't New England. Yeah, it's a great franchise. They had great coaches. Absolutely. But because he was that person, it didn't matter what team he was on. He went out and won. So my advice to you guys is no matter what you're facing in life, Martin Luther King says something along the lines of, if you can't run, walk. If you can't walk, crawl. Do anything but just keep going. Make another call. Send another DM. Write another email. Apply to another job. Read another book. Just take action. Because the common denominator of lucky people is they keep putting up shots. And you're going to get lucky eventually if you keep trying. And every time you're trying, every time you're seeking knowledge, every time you're listening, let's say even a podcast like this or something else that's positive and helps you grow, it's putting up a giant mirror to your face that's allowing you to look at your life and think about how you can be better. And every time you're doing that, it may seem small. It's a random Tuesday, a random Monday where you're listening to something like this or something else. But you get a little percent gain. You get a little bit more experience. And then not if, but when that opportunity presents itself, you're not the person you were 2 weeks ago or even 2 years ago. You're elevated. You've grown. You speak better. You're more knowledgeable. You know how to handle this problem better. Now, I always give myself this rule, especially in business. Anytime I face a challenge, we have a problem with employee or customer or anything, you name it, right? Just running a business has challenges. I always tell myself, if I can't handle this problem, why would I get or even want anything better? If I can't handle this small issue, why would I want anything more? And that's the way you got to look at it. Because if you deep down in your heart truly know that you're meant for more in life, then you need to go through adversity and challenges so you can be groomed to become the person you know you're truly capable. And one day, and maybe it's next week, maybe it's tomorrow, maybe it's next year, you will wake up on a random Tuesday and go, holy cow, I'm living my dream life. I cannot believe I've ran this business. This happened, this network, this life, whatever, your family. It will come together. But it starts with the everyday small steps that we're taking today, never stopping you growing and developing. and being around people that allow you to take shortcuts in life and elevate even quicker. So hope you guys enjoy this podcast. If you do, guys, you're watching this on YouTube, press the hype button, comment below. If you're on Spotify or Apple, leave a review. And most importantly, guys, have an incredible week. Thank you guys so much. And I'll see you guys again for episode 166. Thank you.